Hello, Nord, and welcome to Ustang Sports Talk. I'm Joe Spadorcia, here alongside Michael Curley. This is episode 1, Fall Sports Recap. Michael, how are you today?
Doing pretty fantastic, Joe. You know, it's a Friday, heading to the long weekend for Veterans Day. Feeling pretty good, you know.
God bless the USA.
Got winter sports coming up in a couple weeks here. 2 weeks from Monday, they start.
Yeah, we got a little awkward break here where nobody really knows what to do with themselves for 3 weeks. It's actually a time where most seniors apply to colleges.
It is.
So everybody else just feels kind of awkward right before they head into the winter sports. But before we get into winter sports, let's talk a little bit about fall sports.
We'll do a little recap on just all the fall sports and how the fall season went in Nord's first ever season in the Tri-Valley League. I know it was a tough transition period for some people in Norwood who really didn't want to leave the Bay State Conference. Just the competition in the Bay State Conference was a little higher, I might say, than the Tri-Valley. But the Tri-Valley still is not a bad conference at all.
And again, to lay out the episode, we're going to start with the worst team and work our way up by record. We did it by wins. We didn't do any power rankings or anything special. It's just by number of wins. So coming in, number 1 worst team at Nord High this fall, first ever in the Tri-Valley, girls cross country.
That is right. They are led by Coach Amy Worcester, who is also the girls winter track coach and also the girls long distance coach for the spring track team.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 0-6 record isn't great, but I think a lot of us around here, just around Nord High in general, might know the name Olivia Bodette.
If you don't know the name Olivia Bodette and you go to Nord High,
do
you live under a rock?
Have you not heard about how successful she's been on course for cross country?
Number 2 in the coach's invite sophomore race.
She also led Norwood High at the Tri-Valley meet. I forget exactly what place she came in, but she was the highest Norwood player I know to rank there. So she's really just been a force on the side for the girls team. A very small team for the girls this year. I know they haven't had very many girls on the team. It was tough. I know, especially with the loss of Captain Tegan Bartlett, correct?
Yeah, she had ankle tendon surgery after complaining about ankle pain during 2 seasons last year, the winter and the spring season, and nobody believed that. Oh, it's okay. It's probably pulled
something. Yeah.
She tore a tendon, and she ran on it for a season and a half last year.
That's pretty crazy.
But yeah, so they went in. She had surgery. She's cross country ruled out. I think she can start training again in January, best case. So winter season is probably a no-go because you have to register.
Yep.
Hopefully she's healthy again by the springtime. Tough hit for girls running teams.
It was a tough hit. But to come back on Olivia Bodette, she placed 5th place overall at the Tri-Valley Cross Country Showcase. She finished 5th out of 74 competitors with a time of 20 minutes, 12.5 seconds on the 5K course, which that's probably my time for 2 miles, not 5K. But I mean, so it's very
depending on the day, it could be my time for 1 mile.
I mean, that's very impressive. So the girls' team actually for that race only entered 4 runners. They entered Olivia Bodette, Haley McDonough, Emma King, and Jennifer Pusey into that race. So they did not actually have a team overall finish because they only entered 4 runners. I believe you have to enter 6 to get a finish in the team competition. But Olivia Bodette earned a medal for her top 5 performance, leading the Mustangs. The Mustangs' next best finish was 56th. So Olivia really led the Mustangs team at this meet and just overall throughout the season. She's been their best runner.
And during the regular running season, their closest loss was 34-24 to Ashland. Their all the scores were more than 15 points differential, except for Ashland. They lost to Ashland 34-24 in Ashland, and that was their closest meet.
So I mean, overall for girls cross country, I've seen them practice in a little bit. I've seen them just walking up to the track for practice. I don't watch their practices. I've seen them walking to the track. I was at the field hockey game. They were warming up, and then they went to, I believe, Shattuck Park or they ran to Shattuck Park or St. Tim's. They did some long run that I would never do in my life.
Yeah, never.
And there's only like 5 or 6 girls actually there. I've seen Tegan a couple times, but I mean, obviously she hasn't been able to run, but she's been there just for leadership a little bit, being the senior on the team, a captain. I believe she was still a captain, even though she was injured.
She was.
So that's obviously great to see her just still with the positive energy, going and supporting her team, even though she can't be running herself. She was still there and she's still supporting her team, which is really for anyone it's just a great thing to do, especially being injured and having this bad of an injury, not even be able to run at all.
Oh yeah, and did we mention Olivia Badette, sophomore?
Yes, she's only a sophomore. So last year as a freshman, she ran very well.
Her name came up a lot last year.
All 3 seasons, cross country, then winter and spring track. And then this year, obviously, as a sophomore, 1 year of experience under her belt, which I think really could have helped her performance. And she was really just the focal point of this girls' cross country team for the Mustangs.
Anything else you'd like to add? Predictions for next year?
For next year, I mean, I know they're losing Tegan, but I mean, they're not really because they didn't have her this year. So they'll lose the leadership.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll have Olivia Bodette, who will be a junior next year, so she'll be 1 year older. And then those other names I was mentioning who ran at the Tri-Valley meet.
Haley McDonough. Emma King. Haley McDonough's going to graduate this year.
Haley McDonough will graduate, but they'll bring back Emma King and Jennifer Pusey. So they'll bring back both of them onto the team. So really only one loss, really. I mean, technically 2, but really Tegan didn't really run this year, so I mean you can't really count her, I guess, because she didn't affect any of the team's standings in any races or anything.
Yep.
So really, this could be a team. I mean, obviously it's around with Olivia Bodette as the focal point, as the number 1 runner. This team, I don't really know how much improvement they can get. I don't know. I mean, you never really know like how many people are going to come out who are 8th graders now. Like it's not like a hockey or a football or a baseball where you see the numbers in youth.
Yeah.
And you could predict how many people are going to come out, how much better you can get, like how much freshmen you're going to get. Cross country, you really never really know.
Yeah, there's no like youth cross country team.
Exactly. That's why. I mean, you never know. It could be kids who are playing a winter sport and want to get in shape and think cross country is the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I mean, never really know for cross country. It's tough to make some predictions, but if I can make one prediction, I think Olivia Bodette could place first in the Tri-Valley next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on, next team, staying on cross country, unfortunately, the 1-5 boys cross country team.
Yes, boys cross country with head coach Matt Curran, who's also the sophomore dean here at Nord High School. He was a history teacher. Oh, he was a U.S. history teacher last year.
Yep.
I know this year I believe he only teaches law.
Yeah, he only teaches 2 law classes.
But so 1-5-1 actually for the boys cross country team. Their 1 win was versus Dedham, 35-20 at home. I know that our good friend Aiden Mulligan was on the team this year. He swam in the fall for his freshman, sophomore, junior year, and then as the swim team transitioned to the Tri-Valley, it became a winter sport now.
Yeah, so it's only winter, so Aiden had time to run cross country.
Exactly, which I think he just mainly did because I know he has a very good track career. Maybe it could just help his track time.
Yeah, special shout out to him. He's on the Stampede, so go check that out.
Yeah, go check out the Stampede on SoundCloud.
On Mustangs.com. Yeah, so the win came against Dedham.
Mm-hmm.
The Dirty D.
I mean, Dedham's just Dedham. Like you always want to beat them, whatever the sport is. It's like Walpole. Like I mean, not as big as Walpole, I don't think, but I mean, it's still Dedham. You still don't like Dedham at all. You still want to beat them whatever you do. So it's great to see the boys cross country team doing that. And then I know that
their strengths.
At the strengths, I know they have Miles Kidd, who was a freshman, who was on the team. I don't know how much he made an impact, but he was one of the. He
placed 49th and got a medal.
In the freshman meet.
In the freshman coaches
invitational.
Yep.
Where Olivia Bodette, by the way, going back to girls cross country, placed second in that meet. In case I don't know if you said that, but.
Yeah, I think I did.
I'd like to apologize if you did, but anyways, back to boys. I know that they have a couple juniors who are typically top finishers of junior Paul Forrest, and Kevin Sisk, as at the Tri-Valley meet a couple weeks ago. They placed 10th out of 12 teams, where Paul Forrest was the top finisher for the Mustangs, placing 40th in 19 minutes and 14 seconds. And Kevin Sisk was very close behind, 44th place overall, second for the Mustangs with 19 minutes and 32 seconds.
Yeah, so, 10 out of 12.
I mean,
Yeah, that's all I should have to say.
numbers really speak for themselves.
Struggling.
It's tough. I don't think the boys have very many players either, or very many runners, I should say. I don't really know how much depth there is on the team. I know that they lost to Craig Riley from last year, Tarek.
They were a lot of good runners last year.
There was did Robin Union run cross country? I forget whether he ran cross country or not.
I know he ran track.
That's why I'm trying to think whether he ran cross country. I'm not exactly sure about that, so don't quote me on that one. But I know it was tough. They did lose a couple seniors. They got Aiden Mulligan, but I know he's more of a short sprinter anyways in track.
He didn't even.
And he was
out for
a bunch of the year. He got a bad concussion actually
from a unsports-related
actually
injury.
You can kind of count. It was at cross country practice. He was running up to the track and he ran into someone.
No, he was setting up for senior night for one of the other sports, or a girl. Somebody was, and he was like running.
I thought he was going to practice.
Yeah, he was like going to practice, and somebody was setting up for senior night.
I think it was Ali Jambalco's little sister.
Yeah, and they bumped heads.
Yeah, that's tough.
Out for 2 weeks.
He was out for literally 2 weeks for school. But it's good to see him back in school a little
Tough
bit.
bid.
Seems like he's getting a little better, so that's great. But 5-1 for boys cross country. Second worst team at North High in the fall, which, not gonna lie, it's a little shocking, especially with this next team we're gonna talk about, who I thought was gonna be the worst.
Yeah, well, this is kind of a special case for us here. We're doing a recap, but their season isn't over, and of course we're talking about boys football. How many games did they win last year?
0. Yeah, 0. 0-11.
Hold on, let me carry the 1.
You don't have to carry a 1 because it's 0.
1 times 0 is
0.
0 wins last year. 0-11.
And then the year before, so that was the 2017 season, 0-11. Really nothing going for them that year. Offense could barely score, could barely get past the 50-yard line. Defense just couldn't stop anything.
Didn't they have a lead on Norton last year?
Yeah, 21-0 at halftime, and then
they lost
28-21 loss.
Yeah, I was gonna say they were up 21-0. What happened after that?
They lost. That's what happened.
Huh? That's bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Then the 2016 season is the last time Norwood actually made the playoffs. They started that season 3-0.
3-0. That means they're gonna go 11-0, yeah?
No, they went 3-8. They lost the next 8 games. They lost the playoff game to Falmouth that year.
Not barely a playoff game.
Barely. I mean, they were 3-4, I believe, heading into the playoffs that year.
Yeah, when they released the tournament schedule.
Yeah, and then so Norwood that 2016 went 3-8. They lost to 8, so they had an 8-game losing streak going to the 2017 season. Lost all 11 games last year, so they had
all 11.
All 11.
Just so we're clear. All 11.
Yes, so no wins, 11 losses. Yes.
Okay.
So they had a 19-game losing streak heading into this year.
How many wins?
0 in their last 19 heading into this 2018 season.
And then what happened?
Well, they started the season against Walpole, which is a big rivalry game, non-conference because Walpole's still in the Bay State Conference, obviously, and now Norwood with the Tri-Valley.
Did we win?
No.
What was the score?
27-0 loss.
That's close.
First game of the season. And then their second game was their first Tri-Valley game against Medway on the road, 34-18 loss. They had a lead actually at points of the game, 10-3, I believe they had a lead,
wow.
And then obviously Medway started playing some football and beat them.
They probably ran the scored touchdown play.
Yeah, maybe a couple times.
You
and
ever
then home game against Hopkinton, 28-6 loss. Just another loss. So that brings the loss. That brings the losing streak up to 22 games.
I was at that game.
You were at that game?
I was working for NCM.
Norwood Community Media.
I was on a camera, and they came in looking like the University of Miami in their white jerseys with the green and orange trim.
Yeah.
And as soon as they walked in with white helmets and white uniforms, they were yelling really loud. And I said out loud, "Oh, geez, we're going to get smacked."
And then they lost 28-6.
Yeah.
So that game, the Hopkinton game, third game of the year. So Norwood started 0-3. And then
which combined with their 19 losses from before.
So 22 game losing streak heading into their game against Westwood on the road. Very, very, very close game, unfortunately for them.
Worst football game of all time. It's literally the lowest possible score besides like 3-0, 3-2, or
2-0.
Or 2-0, yeah. 7-6.
7-6 on the road.
The lowest
At
score,
Westwood High.
The second lowest score you can have where both teams get points.
Essentially, yeah. No, technically you
Well-
can get 5-3. 3-2.
So it's a third.
Pretty much. Either way, it's a very low-scoring game.
That's a hockey game.
You're at that game, correct?
I caught the last 2 minutes of it. We had captain's practice for hockey that night.
Oh, yeah. But I heard it was a packed game.
It was packed. I got there the last 2 minutes, and both sides were filled.
I remember
And they had the big fire truck.
last year, Westwood came to Norwood and absolutely killed them.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
It was 34-0, 35-0, something like that. This year, obviously, a lot more low scoring, 7-6.
Westwood's been struggling.
So that does show that Norwood this year in the Tri-Valley, even though that was their fourth loss of the season to go to 0-4, they were still competitive. In the Medway game, they had a lead, and in this Westwood game, they were obviously competitive, making it, a close game, even though it's low
They didn't score
scoring.
a touchdown, though.
Either way,
It was 2 field goals.
Either way, it's still a close game.
2 field goals. No touchdowns. Is that how you play football?
No, not really.
And then what happened after that?
They played Ashland.
Who?
Ashland.
The Ashland Clockers?
Yep, on the road. They lost 31-0, which that game really kind of made it feel like it was a game from last season where they just couldn't get anything going. No points, obviously.
And then after that, home against Holliston, they scored their...
Granted, Holliston's a great team. Holliston's a very good team.
Okay, hold on. They scored 18 points, which is tied for their most on the season so far. So you're like, hey, that's a plus. Guess how many Holliston scored?
41?
41 points.
So you see Holliston here this game. I don't know.
Sorry.
So Holliston, I was at this game.
Were you?
Yeah. It was
Did they win?
No. It was just before halftime, actually. It's 15 seconds after the first half. Holliston's up by 2 scores.
Oh, I was there too.
Yeah, you were. You were.
That was the busiest day of my life.
Holliston was up 2 scores this game. They have 2 timeouts remaining in the half, so they take both timeouts. 6 seconds left. They're going to run a play. They run a hook and ladder and convert.
Didn't it hit somebody in the face?
I don't know if it hit someone in the face or if it actually worked the way they wanted to. Either way, Holliston used timeouts up 2 scores. They used 2 timeouts so they could get the time that they want, and then they ended up scoring a touchdown to make a 3-point lead, a 3-score lead, taking it into halftime.
If their coach drew up a play where you hit somebody
Did it hit someone in the face?
Yeah, I think it hit Timmy. It hit Timmy Dennehy in the face, or Jason. I forget which one.
I thought they were doing a hook and ladder.
No. The quarterback
It hit
three steps back, looked up, threw to his right, hit Timmy in the face, and we thought it was dead. Like, no, there was no whistle, but it was like, oh, play's over. They shut him down for that. Hit Timmy in the face.
Popped right into the hands of the
Holliston, and he went down 45 yards and scored a touchdown.
I remember watching that, and I was just like, honestly, why did Holliston have to do that? They're already up 2 scores. They're already probably going to win the game.
Kind of classless.
And then,
kind of classless.
Yeah, it's a little classless. Against this Norwood team who's 0-4 on the 0-5, on the year going into that game, with at that point 24-game losing streak.
Yeah.
Dating back to 2016 season.
Yeah.
I don't think it was necessary. At that point, you do feel bad for the players on the Norwood team. It's just tough to watch them just take advantage of Norwood's lack of defense, I guess you could say.
Lack of football.
Lack of just, I don't even know what. And they take a 3-score lead heading into halftime, and then obviously jump out in front even larger and win that game 41-18. So
18 points we scored, though.
That's not that bad. Not that bad. For Norwood football, not that bad. No.
Okay, then guess what happens after the Holliston
So they're 0-6. 0-6 after the Holliston game. What happens?
And they're what? 0-25?
0-25. 25-game losing streak.
Guess what happens?
What happens?
Travel out. Let me set the scene. It was a cold, wet day. It was just after a rainstorm. Norwood's on a 25-game losing streak. I swear to God, there was a rainbow.
I don't know about that one.
I swear to God, I saw it.
Okay.
It may have been just in my house because the way my windows are, whatever. But I saw a rainbow that day.
Yeah.
And I said, it's a good day for Norwood High to win a game.
I'm sure you did.
I did. I said that out loud to myself. I was watching Netflix. I saw the rainbow, and I was like,
yeah,
it's a good day for Norwood High to win a football game. So they travel out to Medfield on the cold, rainy day after the rain. And They beat up on Medfield.
21-2.
21 points.
21 whole points for Norwood. Only letting up 2 points. Obviously, that's a safety. I mean, defense obviously played well that game, only letting up the safety. Technically, that's actually not the defense. That's the offensive line letting up the safety, technically.
True.
So the defense didn't let up any points. It was
Best
the offense.
defense in the state.
Best defense on that night? Yeah. I mean, 21-2. Jay Wachowski with, I believe, all 3 touchdowns that game. 2 on offense and then 1 on defense.
1 on special teams, I think.
Oh, special teams.
He had a return.
Excuse me. So Medfield, I believe, only had 1 win going into that game.
But 1 win, that's 1 more than we had in the last 25.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Norwood snapped a 25-game losing streak, got the big monkey off their back.
That's like a Super Bowl.
They got the monkey off their back. Good for them.
Coach Ty.
Good. That was great.
You just won the Super Bowl. Where are you going to go now?
Disney. Probably
not. He's going to
maybe not. He's
try
gonna
to win again next week?
Well, maybe, but I mean, the thing is, you see that win. It's not all great things. Yeah, it's a win. Look at their offense. They had 1 first down the entire game. 1.
How many?
1 first down in 4 quarters of football, and you scored 21 points. Like, that's just because Mark Murphy, who's a pure athlete.
Yeah, he's a pure athlete.
Like, you see, I mean, he's an athletic kid.
Yeah.
He's good. I mean, he has a great arm.
Yep.
He was just throw it down the field to Jay, a tall receiver, a talented receiver. He scored long touchdowns that game. They didn't need to drive the ball down the field and get multiple first downs per drive. All they had to do, obviously, was just throw it up and have Jay go and catch it and score a touchdown.
That's the touchdown play right there.
They're the touchdown play. I mean, obviously, all they needed was 1 touchdown for the whole game.
Yeah, true. They just
1 touchdown, 1 first down. Excuse me.
No.
For the
1
whole game to
touchdown
win.
is what they need. The other team only scored 2 points.
Well, yeah. I mean, technically, yeah, you're right. But I mean,
and you know what Norwood did that day? They said we're gonna go above and beyond for the first time in our football career.
Maybe.
Let's score 3 of them.
Yeah. And
But not everybody said that. Just Jay.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly.
Because he scored all the points.
Yeah.
All of them.
Every single one was Jay. But I mean, obviously, it's good to get a win against granted, it's a weak opponent, but hey, a win's a win.
But we're a weak team.
Breaking the 25-game losing streak heading into this, that's a big accomplishment right there.
That's a huge accomplishment.
That's what you want to do.
Okay, so then after that, they beat Medfield. Then they go out to Silver Lake. Where
this was supposed to be a home game.
Was it?
It was supposed to be a Saturday afternoon game, but it was the weekend. There was a huge nor'easter storm coming that weekend.
Oh.
So it was predicted really bad rain on Saturday. So what they did was they moved it from Norwood instead of making a Friday night game at Norwood, because I mean obviously you kind of need lights for that. They moved it to Silver Lake.
You don't have those?
No. Have you noticed? No. Norwood does not have lights at their field. So yeah, that's
nowhere.
No, so you can't play night games here.
What if we had a huge crowd and everybody just like opened their flashlights?
I mean, I don't think that would work.
I mean, it's worth a try.
So it was supposed to be a home game that against Silver Lake Regional.
Where is Silver Lake?
I'm not exactly sure, but they moved it from a home game to an away game on a Friday night. They went out there.
It's a long trip.
It's a long trip. I don't know exactly how long it is. Can you find out?
I'll look that up.
I'll find how long it is. I know it's pretty long. So, riding the momentum off their win, they go out there to Silver Lake. They have a lead at one point, and then.
Did they win?
No, they did not win. Shock. I mean, this might come as a shock too. They didn't. No, they had lost. Lost that game by a score of 27-9. They did. I mean, they were competitive apart, but then Silver Lake just kind of pulled away and obviously took control of this game and won.
Yeah, I don't think Silver Lake exists.
It's in Kingston, Mass.
Yeah, so
down by the Cape.
Norwood to Kingston. Directions, just so I can see the drive. That'd be great. That doesn't help me.
Either way, it's a long trip, longer than Medfield. It's tough. It's tough. They had a lot of momentum, and then obviously they just couldn't get it done.
From my house to Kingston, Massachusetts is 48 minutes. Fastest route.
So it's tough. I mean, obviously,
Plus
I don't
the
know.
storm causes traffic. Plus, it's a Saturday night.
Friday night, actually.
Friday night, so that's even worse.
So, I mean, either way, they went out there with the momentum for the win, and they lost 27-9.
Something we're very familiar with here.
Very familiar with that. Drops the Mustangs to 1-7 on the year, and then they come home the next weekend. They play Oliver Ames, and there's another win.
No way.
November 3rd, they get a 28-12 win over Oliver Ames. Winless Oliver Ames. But hey, a win's a win.
Yeah,
Two wins for North this year for football. 2 wins.
We definitely could have left that part out, that they've never won a game.
Oh, well, I'm just
The
saying.
undefeated Oliver Ames team. I'm just kidding.
False. So the win. So there are 2 wins. Nord's 2 wins this year. I'm not exact. I don't have the exact update on Medfield's record, and I'm assuming, well, at the times that they played them, Medfield had 1 win. Oliver Ames does not have a win. So the two wins came against opponents that had a combined 1 win at the time they played each opponent. So 1 win between the two people, the 2 towns that they beat.
And how many do we have this season?
We have 2 this season.
So we have the same amount of wins that they had combined?
No, we have more than that because we have 2 wins this season. And at the time that they played each team, Medfield had 1 win.
Oliver Ames has
Oliver
one
Ames has
now.
0. So,
So that means we're better than.
So I mean, obviously, 2 wins is an improvement, but I mean, they're against weak opponents, so you can't really take much against. I mean, a win's a win. That's all you can really say, but it's still against a weak opponent. So the 2-7.
They weren't even close games though. It's not like we're beating weak teams 7-6 because we're losing those games. We're beating teams 21-2 and then 28-12.
So they are good wins.
They're good wins. It's not like we're going out there and kicking a field goal and then playing nasty defense.
Offense is rolling. Defense is playing all right. So 2 wins in the year, with 2 more games remaining. 1 against Milford and 1 against Dedham. Milford tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon. Excuse me, at the time of this being recorded.
Oh, because it's home. There's no such thing as night games.
No such thing as a night game. Only afternoon games here.
Are you sure we don't have lights?
Positive. So
Why don't we have lights?
They have tomorrow afternoon. I'm not really sure. Tomorrow afternoon against Milford, and then Thanksgiving against Dedham. So I mean, obviously,
What's your prediction?
I'm thinking a loss from both. 2 losses. Milford's a good team. I know that they have 1 player. I believe his name is Kevin Pine. If you want to double check that one. Kevin, I believe his last name is Pyne.
Kevin Pyne.
Yes, Kevin Pine from Milford. Offensive tackle, 6'7", 265 pounds. He's getting a lot of D1 offers. I know his
Wait, he's from Millis.
he's from Millis, plays for Milford. I don't know if Millis is a team because of how small it is.
They have a soccer team.
They have a soccer team.
Yeah.
I don't know about football, but so this kid Kevin Pine, 6'7", 275 pounds.
Offers from BC, Notre Dame, Arkansas, Auburn, and Clemson.
It's pretty solid. That's some pretty good stuff right there. So he's going to be extremely difficult to stop.
Oh my! Look at this kid.
I mean, I don't know how many kids can get by him. And then I just don't know how it's going to go for the team overall. I mean, it's just going to be a tough game for. It's going to be a tough game for Norwood there tomorrow. And then Dedham, you never really know. Dedham's a rivalry game.
Plus, it's on Thanksgiving.
And Thanksgiving. Plus,
we're kind of hungry for wins, and I heard Dedham beats up on terrible teams.
It'll be the last game for for the seniors on this team this year. These
are his freshman highlights.
So some are gonna want to go out there and just be like, "Oh, thank God! Like I'm done with my career." Some are gonna be like, "I want to end on a good note. I want to get a win." So that Dedham game is gonna be more competitive. I think it'll be more competitive. I think both games would be somewhat competitive. I think the Dedham game would be the more competitive of the 2. However, I think both games would end in losses.
I think Milford would be a close game.
You think? I don't know. It'll be tough.
I think it'll be a close game.
But I mean, if you look at the season as a whole so far, 2-7. 2 wins obviously is a lot more than the 0 they had last year.
It's 2.
It's a great thing, but
wins.
Let's be honest. Like, what is going on up there? That makes them lose 25 straight games spanning back to the 2016 season. They ended it this year at Medfield. Thank God, they are able to end that streak. But like, what is it? Because I know if you look if you look at this year's 8th grade team, if you look at this year's freshman team, they're good. They actually win games. This year's 8th grade team, I know Garrett Reardon's on the team. He is an absolute stud. He's nasty.
Yeah, he is.
He they literally blow out teams. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
and I know we commentated the 7th grade game last year, which would be this year's 8th grade team, and
they won.
They absolutely smacked. I forget who they played. Walpole. Yeah. So, what is it? Is it like? Even like our year, the 8th grade team made the championship that year. Remember? So when we were in 8th grade, so the seniors now, when they were playing youth, the class of 2019, they were good. They're good in youth. The JV team in the past couple of years has gotten more wins than the varsity has, obviously. The freshman team this year I know is good. But then they get the varsity, and what happens?
That's what I want to know. I want to know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's Jim Ty. I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator. It's Bobby Conrad. I don't know if it's a defensive coordinator, and Lopes, or whoever's running the show behind the locker room doors, who's writing up plays and who's trying to coach these kids. 0-25 halfway through the season? That's a joke.
You mean 0-6? 0-25 in the past 3 seasons?
In the last 3 seasons. You lose 25 games in a row, I don't care what season it's in. It could be in the winter. That's not what I'm talking about, but it could be,
if you're a program that has 25 straight losses at one point, that's pathetic.
That is pathetic. And you go winless,
and they've been in games this year. They were in games at the beginning of the year. They had a lead against Medway. They had a lead against I believe it was.
I think they were up
against Westwood. I think they're up on Westwood too, and they lost that game. So they had a lead against Medway. They're in these games.
They are.
But they can't do anything.
They can't finish.
Obviously, they did against Medfield, but Medfield's a weak opponent. Obviously, they did against Oliver Ames last weekend, but again, Oliver Ames, weak opponent. It's good that they're going out and that they're beating the opponents that they should beat, Medfield and Oliver Ames.
Where's the
pride?
But
if you're in these games, if you are up in these games, you have to finish. If you're gonna, granted, Medway's probably a better team, but you have a lead, build momentum off of it. Like, what's with this collapse? They had a 10-3 lead that game. They collapsed and ended up losing the whole game, 34-18. What happened last year to have 11 straight losses? The year before that, 8 straight losses after starting 3-0. You start 3-0 and loses 8 straight games. Granted, your scheduling might have had your weakest 3 opponents in the first 3 games. But still, you have to be more competitive in those last 8 games. Last year, 11 games, 11 losses. I don't think they're competitive in 1. I don't think they were not competitive in 1 game last year.
Except for
not 1 game.
You
can't say Thanksgiving.
What about
they were not competitive in Thanksgiving.
No. Was that 2 years ago?
Oh, the one triple overtime.
Was that?
That was our freshman year.
Oh.
That was our freshman year.
I really thought that was last year.
That was our freshman year, I believe. Let me double check on that.
I can't believe
I thought it was our freshman year.
Either way, I want to know whose fault it is. Why are we losing? I'm not a coach. I'm not a football coach. I'm not Bill Belichick. I don't expect John Longley to hire a Bill Belichick. I expect him to hire somebody that's going to lead us to a W.
Right.
At least one.
Like, is it Jim Ty? I don't know who it is. I really don't know. Is it the lack of talent? 'Cause I know this.
I don't think it's the lack of talent.
They're athletes.
We have athletes on this team. Seniors in general. Timmy Dennehy's an athlete. Mark Murphy's an athlete. Jake Smelser's an athlete. Brendan Lenahan's an athlete. Jay Wachowski's an athlete. Abdullah Khalil's an athlete. And the list goes on. And that's only the seniors. We have athletes.
Robbie Wachowski, Jason Dennehy.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I'm just confused as to, what it is. Because
2 wins in a season with 2 games left.
I'll give it to them. This year, heading into this year, I did not think that they were going to get 1 win.
No, I really thought
I really thought they were going to go 0-11 again.
Yep.
Not even be competitive in any games.
Yep. I agree.
It was the 2016 season, so our sophomore year.
Okay.
Where that game was competitive against Dedham, the triple overtime game. They won that game. They won that game.
They did win.
That was our sophomore year. They won that game.
Yeah.
Junior year was at Dedham Thanksgiving. That game.
I didn't go to that game. I went to the Spirit.
That game was not close. And then senior year, obviously this year, they're playing against Dedham.
But they got to play Milford first. And Kevin Pine.
You're right. They got to put Milford and Kevin Pine first. So, I mean, honestly, they were competitive in the Dedham game our sophomore year, 2016 season. Junior year, so 2017 season, that was an okay game, but Dedham had it. Dedham had it in the bag pretty much. But
when's the last time we won the Thanksgiving game?
Our freshman year, they won it at Dedham.
At Dedham. And then Dedham came here.
And then Dedham came here in 2016 season, won that game, and then we went there. Then Dedham got one again last year, the 2017 season.
What was the score to that game last year? Was it even close?
I don't think it was very close at all. No, I can't say close at all.
50.
I
cannot.
It was not a good game.
We were there though.
I think Dedham controlled that game completely. But it's just, it honestly just baffles me how, like, obviously I don't play football. I understand it's difficult.
Yeah, it's
to
not
win.
an easy sport.
I know it's not an easy sport. Like, but it's just.
But when you have athletes,
it's just the biggest question of what happened between. I mean, yeah, it's 4 years. Kids are going to grow a lot and everything. But do these towns really grow that much more than we do, where they'll go out and just play around with us on the football field and just win these games? Or is it just that does Norwood plateau? Or do we just not improve as much as these other teams? Because these youth teams that we have
we don't play Holliston
are good.
And youth. Granted,
this year's a little different with the Tri-Valley teams.
Yeah, it's a little different.
But you can even look at last year.
We do play some of the same teams.
Look at last year with the Walpole and the Wellesley and Natick and all these teams that I bet these youth teams play.
Definitely.
And they aren't even competitive. They're not even close to competitive.
Yeah.
Against these teams. They're nowhere near the playing level of these teams. The only teams that they're near the playing level are of Medfield and Olive Rames.
And Westwood.
Silver Lake, they had a lead this year, lost it obviously.
They got smacked.
27-9. I believe
to a cupcake team.
I believe it was close this year at the first part of the game, and then obviously Silver Lake ran away with it. But it's just like the only games that they've actually like. I mean, Westwood 7-6. You can say that's kind of competitive. These other scores, I mean, 28-6, 34-18, 41-18. I mean, granted they had a lead in the Medway game, but then they obviously blew it and ended up getting beat really bad in the final score. But the only game that they've really been competitive in, 3 games this year. The Westwood game on the road, a 7-6 loss, which is just not a good football game.
That's a hockey
That's a horrible football game, 7-6. Medfield, 21-2 win, where you only get 1 first down, and the only points that they score are on a safety. What happened to your offensive line? And then Olive Rames, 28-12 win last weekend over a winless Olive Rames team. So those 3 games are competitive.
Do you pride yourself on that?
Those are the 3 games that they've been competitive in this year. The Westwood game, a horrible loss, 7-6.
On both sides.
Both sides, not a good game.
Terrible.
Medfield, football. 1 win for Medfield. You go and they win. And then you have Olive Rames come to you and you beat them. But however, they're winless. So you should be competitive in that game. Granted, that's what the scheduling is like for these games. I'm pretty sure they make it so there's more competitive.
Yeah, the last 4 are supposed to be competitive.
But still, like, these are the 3 games you've been competitive in the past, what has it been? Year and a half? Almost 2 years?
Almost 2 years.
There are answers somewhere.
How many games are we actually competitive in the last 2 years? Like, actually, if you think about it. Like, maybe a handful?
Maybe a handful.
I can probably count them all on one hand.
Probably, yeah.
All right. Either way, what are your keys to success for the Thanksgiving football game against the Dedham High School Marauders?
Thanksgiving game, it's obviously the last game for the seniors, as I said earlier. These kids are going to want to go out. Some kids are going to want to go out and just be like, all right, I'm done. Good. Some kids want to go out and be like, I want to end on a good note.
I hope for our sake and the town of Norwood, for all these people who come out to watch the Thanksgiving football game, all these townies that come out to watch this competitive game. Make it a competitive game. We have like probably the most fans. I mean, maybe besides the Westwood game, because Westwood stands are ginormous, plus all the townies that went out to that. Probably the most fans that we have in any sport at this game. It's between this game and the game against Walpole on New Year's Eve for hockey are the games for most attendance in any sport in Norwood High this year. And you're 2-8?
2-7.
2-7. If they beat. Or if, like, not.
So we'll say going into that game, they could potentially be 2-8.
They could be
2-8 or 3-7 going into that game.
We don't know. Kevin Pine, I don't know. Either way, you can be going into this game 2-8. Have some pride. Have some Mustang pride. We have a tradition of winning at Norwood High. Not in recent memory, but our sports teams have been good for 100 years. And I bet if you look up the Norwood versus Dedham football games for the last 50, I bet Norwood has a winning record for the Thanksgiving games.
Probably, yeah.
I think 9 times out of 10, 20 years ago, Norwood High probably won the Thanksgiving football game. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if that's the exact thing, but I know for a fact that historically Norwood High in general, has a better record than Dedham High School. Across the board.
Yeah.
Especially in football.
All you have to do is just go out there and just play with a chip on your shoulder. You have 2 wins. You have one of the better seasons in recent memory. You want to go out there, say you're 2-8. You want to go out there and match that 2016 season, get to 3-8. Granted, 3-8 is not a good record, but in comparison to the 0-11, yeah, it's a good record.
It's tied for the best record in high school for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So go out there with a chip on your shoulder.
The soccer team has more wins than you.
Go out there and make it a more competitive game. And just go out there. It's going to be your last game you see, like, for the seniors, obviously.
And I'm going to be there. My parents are going to be there.
It's going to be, I mean...
My girlfriend's going to be there. Your girlfriend's going to be there. You're going to be there. I mean, maybe not your girlfriend, but you'll be there. Everybody's going to be there. Watching. And you're going to lose again? I hope not.
I hope not.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Go out there. Have some turkey after the game, after the win.
Yeah, we can be eating that dub after the game. I don't care. I like my dub with a side of gravy.
Just go out there with some pride. That's all you have to do. I mean, obviously, I don't know. I just don't know. There are just answers out there somewhere, whether it's the coaching or if it's the players. I really don't know.
It could be the AD.
Could be, but you never know. There's an answer out there somewhere, and it should be found. It should be found.
I hope. Anyway, we're going to thank the seniors and good luck in all your endeavors. Timmy Dennehy, Mark Murphy, Anthony Hollywood DeAngelis, Pedro Oliveira, Dan Barron, Jake Smelster, Mohammed Schumann, Brendan Lenahan, Jay Wachowski, Solomon Calero, Abdallah Khalil, Sean McCann, Jaraz Lewis, Sam Wong, Mike White, Kevin Curtis, Cordell Souther, and Kevin Lenahan. Thanks so much for everything you've given to Norwood High School football, and good luck and everything post-high school. Okay, moving on. Girls soccer. Coach Rebecca Newman, 2-16-0. Wow. I know Jeb Brunt handed down the torch. Who was our TV advisor?
Last year. This is her second year.
This is her second year, so the year before that.
Coach.
At the end, I knew he knew he was done at the end of our sophomore year.
So at the end of the 2016 season.
Yep.
That was his last season. So then 2017 season was Miss Newman's first, and then this year being her second. 2-16-0.
Okay. I'm gonna intro this.
Right. Okay.
Opening game, September 5th, in Medfield. You're on this team. You're a freshman. You're pumped. It's your first game. You're a sophomore. You're pumped. It's your first game. You're a junior. You're pumped. It's your first game. You're a senior. You're pumped. It's your last soccer game.
Nope. First
soccer.
There you go.
They get pummeled. 11-0.
In soccer, 11-0.
No, we're not talking about football anymore.
Soccer.
11-0. Brutal. We're not even going to talk about it. They won their first game an actual calendar month later, October 5th, 3-0 over Stoughton in Stoughton. Congratulations.
Good win.
Actual big deal.
Great team win. First win of the season, 3-0. That's great to shut out a team. I know Stoughton last year, actually. I know that
they tied them last year, didn't they?
They beat them 4-1, 4-3. I think it was. I know Megan Giamacco had all 4 goals that game. They won, but so I mean, Stoughton
Who plays at Stonehill now.
Yeah, she plays at Stonehill.
Go Hill.
But so Megan Giamacco, she was a big part of the team last year, obviously scoring 4 goals in one of their wins. But I know they've beaten Stoughton in the past, so it's obviously good to see them beat them again.
Yeah, you don't like to lose to teams that you always beat.
No, you don't like to see them.
That's the worst. That's actually the worst feeling ever.
Yeah, so it's good to see them beat them. They got their second win of the year a week later on October 12th on the road against Bellingham, 6-2, which is just great. I mean,
So both wins coming on the road. Is that what you're telling me?
correct. Both wins on the road, 3-0 and 6-2 in the span of a week. And then on senior night,
They played Ashland. I was at this game. It was actually senior afternoon because we didn't have lights here.
sore subject.
Let's not talk about it. That's for a different episode. They were down like 5-1 or 5-0 going into the second half, and they score like either 2 in a row or 3 in a row, I think. Jessica Keller started that off. She's a senior. And then right after they scored their third goal, I think there was like a good amount of time left. There was like 12 or 13 minutes left. Ashland put their starters back in. They closed it out 5-3.
Tough.
But they never give up.
That's all I can really.
They came out in the second half down 5-0 and they scored 3 goals.
That's all. I mean, honestly,
I'll give you that.
Honestly,
I'll give you that.
You never give up. You never quit. That's always a good sign. I mean, some not just Norwood sports, but just some sports in general, you can always just go out and just quit, and it's just that's not what you want to see. It's really not what you want to see. But to see that they didn't come out, they didn't quit, and that they made it a game in the second half. That's all you can ask
when
for.
you force the other team to put their seniors in, it's like, oh, they put their seniors in. They're like actually going to close this out, or their starters in, excuse me, and they're actually going to close this out. But you know, you kind of want to force them to do that. You don't want to be like, oh, we can put our JV team in and hold this lead.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's never good.
That's the last thing you want.
That's all we have to say about them. Congrats to Jess, who scored in the second half on her senior afternoon. Congratulations to her, Jessica Keller, Hannah Gruboso, Michaela Jordan, Anya Bodenhofer, Rachel Ringler, and Catherine Hurley. So congratulations to you guys, and good luck in your endeavors. Moving on here, you and I, volleyball experts.
Coach Paul Nimblett led the team to a 3-17 record.
They made the playoffs last year.
They made the South semifinals last year.
And they went 3-17 this year. 3. Let me say it again. 1, 2, 3 wins this year. That's it. I can count it on one hand. 17 losses. 17's a great number, but not when it's in the loss column.
You're right. I mean, I know their biggest loss, obviously, Kiki Ryan. She was just an absolute force on the volleyball court.
Aaron Spalding.
Aaron Spalding was also very good. But, I mean, they did lose that up front. Jasmine James did her best to replace that, which, I mean...
She did. She's actually a great volleyball player. She's a really, really good
She's fantastic.
volleyball
Yes, she's very
player.
good.
And she's, like, I'd be scared if she was going for the kill on me.
She is tall. She's athletic. She's very good. I mean, from the game we worked for Norwood Community Media, their senior night against Sharon, she was honestly, like you were saying this the other day, she might have been the best player on both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
Both sides of the court.
I 100% think on both sides of the net, she was the best all-around player. She was there to dig him out when she needed to. She was there to jump up high and spike it in somebody's teeth, and she made the other team make mistakes. All of the points, I would say 90% of the points that happened that day that Norwood was awarded, came from a play that she made or stemmed from a play that she made. And that's good. She's a junior. She definitely has leadership skills. I know her older brother did, MJ, who led the basketball team and then the baseball team. He scored a walk-off home run but against Severian and beat him 1-0 in extras. But sticking with volleyball, like, she's a good leader, she's a good player, and she's a junior.
Exactly. She's definitely going to be one of the strengths coming back next year. I mean, going back on this year, they beat Medfield 3-1 on September 28th. They beat Dedham 3-0 on October 19th. They beat Bellingham 3-2 as well. And it's not like, 17 losses, you might see that and be like, oh, they were horrible. I mean, this team, they brought a very strong Bay State Conference Dedham to 5 sets. Bay State Conference Braintree into 5 sets at their home opener, but they lost 3-2. They brought Norton to 5 sets, lost 3-2. We spoke to Coach Nimblett a couple weeks ago. He told us that they were. It's more of a transition period for this team, changing from the Bay State Conference to Tri-Valley. I mean, granted, everyone's transitioning, but He said for his team specifically, it was a tough year. That they were competitive. However, the results just weren't going their way.
Yeah. So when we talking to Blett, he wanted to stress upon the fact that they're graduating 9 people, but they're secure. They start 2 sophomores sometimes and 2 freshmen sometimes. Megan Obrys and Erin Reen being the freshmen, and Alexa Caravan, who's Danielle's younger sister, and Sydney Wadekiss are both sophomores, and they started sometimes, and they were really good at volleyball.
They were very good. I mean, they're good. So even though they have 9 graduating seniors, they still do have that young core.
They do. They absolutely have a young core, and I think they're perfectly secure for the future. I think the volleyball team next year is going to be good, especially with the leadership under Jasmine James, I assume.
You can only assume.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I don't know.
Megan Obrys is going to have a whole another year under her belt. Seeing with the rest of these.
And with years comes confidence. So these girls are playing varsity as freshmen.
Exactly.
After, do we have a youth volleyball team?
I mean, there's
clubs
and clubs and stuff. I don't know if there's actually a youth team, but I mean, that's
with little volleyball.
That's another one of
the.
That's another one of the sports where you never really know where these people are going to come from. You never know how many people are going to come up and play volleyball, and it's great to see that you have these freshmen and these even sophomores that you can start.
That you can start in the freshmen starting their first year, and you have 9 seniors, and you're starting freshmen who are better than the people who went 3-17. They can go 500 next year if they wanted to.
They really could.
I think they can win 10 matches next year.
I agree. I mean, it's just the main thing.
They need to be consistent. Sometimes the sophomores made silly mistakes at the match.
Everyone can do that, though.
But if they are more consistent, they could easily go 500. They could even win 75% of their games and make a tournament run.
I could see it.
I could absolutely see it. So, you have anything else to add to that?
I just want to congratulate the seniors: Noella Bruzzi, Danielle Curvin, Annabelle Gasparo, Emma Gabutovich, Marissa Jurgolevich, Jenny King, only captain on this team, Maddie McDonough, Vera Saba, and Katie Schmidt, the 9 seniors who will be graduating. So we want to congratulate them on, even though maybe not such a successful season on the court. I know, seeing from just pictures all over social media and everything, that this team was close, and I want to congratulate them on just their camaraderie with the team.
Yep, and good luck in their endeavors. Up next, Walter Santiago just left. He was editing a video behind us. Member of the boys soccer team. So that's who we're going to talk about next under Coach Ryan German.
We actually, on the Stampede, we just published an episode this past week with Eric Danahy and Finn Kelly, 2 of the seniors on this boys soccer team. This was right after they got their 2 wins. They finished the year.
They got hot.
They finished the year.
They were on fire.
They finished the year 4-13-1. I mean, honestly, the beginning of October, I don't know what happened to them. It was either the month or something.
I think it was the pasta dinners.
But
somebody must have been putting something in the pasta.
They lost. They started. I don't know how many losses exactly it was. They started the year winless. They go and they play Ashland on the road on October 2nd. They get their first non-loss, a tie, 0-0.
Away.
On the road.
On a cold day.
And then the next 2 days later, on October 4th, their away game at Millis, they get a 3-0 win, their first win of the season.
The huge high school of Millis, all of
300 students?
300
maybe?
Yeah. Yep.
So they get that win. And then the next day, at home, against Stoughton, 3-1 win.
Home wins are always good.
And it must be Stoughton, or I don't know, but, I mean, the girls got to win against them. Now boys are getting their second win of the year, back-to-back days. So it was really they're at a point. I believe they were 2-7-1 at this point, and people were like, "Wow, what's going on? How are they winning these games? Like, how are they winning now?"
Must be something in the water.
Then they started losing a bunch more games. I believe they lost 6 more games. So they're 2-13-1 going into the last 2 games against Ashland at home and Bellingham away, October 26th and 29th, respectively. They got a 3-1 win against Ashland. So they tied and beat Ashland, and then they beat Bellingham on the road.
Yeah, I mean, right before Halloween. Have some Halloween candy after that.
Honestly, could have fueled them. Maybe they snuck into the little stash.
Yeah, maybe
got
someone went
some energy and
trick-or-treating
won.
right after that.
Oh, maybe. Just a couple days early, yeah.
Yeah. I know Trunk or Treat was that weekend at the Civic.
Yeah.
They could have gone to that.
Maybe they went with the little kids. Yeah, probably.
We'll congratulate the seniors after we make our predictions. So, Michael, you want to go first?
For this team, honestly, I don't see them exceeding 4 wins. Who are they going to put in net? They had Walter Santiago in net, who at times,
who's their backup?
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know the backup.
They have one.
Honestly, we were at the Dedham game. We saw them play. A couple saves he could have made, but again, he was a leader on this team. He was one of the leaders.
He's always yelling. You could always hear him yelling from the sidelines.
He was very passionate about soccer,
and he knows a lot about soccer. He's not just yelling to yell. He's yelling because he knows soccer.
Exactly. So it has to be a very tough hole to fill. Giuliani's also been a very tough hole to fill. I don't see them exceeding 4 wins. I don't see them having an up season.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. I think they're either going to plateau. I think it's more likely they drop off. I can't see this team getting any better than 4 wins in a tie, especially losing a varsity starting goalie, as you said, Walter Santiago, losing Giuliani, who I know is applying to schools using his soccer highlights, and losing the Pugac twins can't be good.
No, can't be good.
I think the only positive going into next season, Jagger Giannetti and Anthony Marchand.
Yep. I agree.
All right, now congratulate the graduating seniors for this year's boys soccer team: Walter Santiago, Giuliani Puguero, Dan Pugac, Sean Pugac, Eric Dennehy, and Finn Kelly. Good luck in everything you guys do. Michael.
Joseph.
Do you know what time it is?
I'm assuming we're going to talk about the golf team.
We are about to talk about the Norwood High School golf team.
Golf?
Golf. Did you know we had a golf team?
I personally knew. I personally knew.
I also knew. I did. I played. Not last year. Not this past year.
Sophomore year
I played.
Yep.
That was awesome. I was really good at golf.
No, you weren't.
Sorry. So let's just talk about them. Under Coach Allen.
Chuck Allen.
The man of many sports.
Three-sport coach at Norwood High. Good for him. He loves golf. Obviously, hockey is his main sport. That's his number one. But he was even talking to us how much he loves golf and how much he wanted to be a golf coach. So our junior year last season, the 2017 season, when Coach Kevin Hoffman resigned due to another job that he got in Mansfield.
He got an administration offer in Mansfield.
Yes, correct. So he left. Coach Allen already had the connection with Norwood High Athletic Director John Longley. So then he filled in the position. And then obviously now he's been the coach for 2 years and led them to back-to-back, I should say, to back-to-back tournament berths. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about the season? I'll talk about the season a little bit.
Go ahead.
I might as well. It's kind of a little bit of a first-person narrative here. I was on the team. So we finished the year 9-7. We finished 2017 season 7-5, and our main goal just going into the year was just to exceed 7 wins. So we had 4 more matches this year to do it, and we did it. We went 9-7. Looking back, it's tough just because we had very close. Honestly, we think that we could have been 12-4. We could have been better. We lost to Hawkinton, who, by the way, they won the 2017 Division II state championship, and then a couple weeks ago they won the 2018 Division II state championship.
Congratulations to you guys.
Back-to-back state champs.
That's a big deal.
Under their coach Dick Bliss, and with their junior captain Matt Epstein, who is actually moving down to Florida for the winter. He's going to be going to school in Florida and he's going to be playing in tournaments down there.
At a Florida school?
Yeah, he's like a high school. So just so he can play just over the winter and everything. He's the real deal. So we lost to them by 1 at Norwood Country Club, our home course. We lost to Holliston by 1 at home, and then we lost. So for the scoring for golf, you take the top. So you have 8 players play. Mm-hmm. You take the 6 lowest scores, add them up. Whatever team has the lowest strokes wins.
Mm-hmm. That's how golf works. Lowest scores. Lowest.
Mm-hmm. So
are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
So we played Westwood. It was a very cold day. I don't know.
It was
very cold. I know that.
Frigid. I had my Norwood High School golf pullover on, and I wore a winter hat before the match, but not during.
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but I mean, I don't really know why the cold. I don't know why I said that. It was just that.
And I remember I listened to
it's just
Wiz Khalifa right before the match.
it's just what I remembered. So we played them. After 6 scores, it was a tie. So you go to the 7th score.
A tie?
How
does that happen?
240 to 240. So we went to the 7th score, and then Westwood's 7th score was lower than our 7th score, so we lost that one. That
shouldn't count. That should be a tie.
So it's tough. It's tough. I mean, those 3 matches right there. If we could have, I mean, that's one shot that that's like one putt that you could have hit. That's one.
So
I don't know.
So of course,
in golf, it's very tough. It's like technical and everything. And everyone has that one shot that they could take back.
Yeah. So after
those 3 losses, the one stroke card off.
That's brutal.
That made us 9-7. We could have been 12-4. I mean, if those went either way, one way or another. But either way, it doesn't really fully matter because it's just as long as you get to the 500 or better mark. So as long as you get the 8 wins, you're in. There's no seedings. There's no you don't play someone else. You can be 8-8 and still win a state championship. You can be 16-0 and lose. So I mean that's the good thing about the golf tournament is that you don't have to go you don't have to play. I mean obviously you want to play your best when it matters, but it's not like you have to win every single match and get a good seed and that's really going to benefit you. Because I mean granted, Hopkinton's different because they're just Hopkinton and they're just very talented across the board.
Mm-hmm.
But
because there's no playoff bracket.
Exactly, there's no playoff bracket. It's just everyone goes in head to head. So so that's a good thing. I mean, either way, 12-4 and 9-7. 12-4 looks better, obviously. But 12-4, 9-7 both tournament berths. The Mustangs went 7-5 on the road, which in golf,
that's hard to do.
It's road match.
You don't play those courses every day.
Road matches in golf is tough. It's not like home ice advantage, home court advantage.
Yeah, you got a crowd.
Yeah, you got a crowd.
You go and play golf.
You go to a completely different course. It's a completely different layout.
Usually.
Sometimes you never played it. Sometimes you can if it's a public course. You go. It's a completely different layout. You don't really know what to expect from the green speeds. I mean, you have a little time before the practice putting, but it's tough.
And I know in the past that Nord has been successful at home because our course is top notch. Just kidding. You can lose your ball in the fairway, and that's why we have an advantage. And that's why we're successful at home, because we know to look exactly where our ball lands, because if we don't, you're going to lose it.
Exactly.
It could be 6 feet underground in the mud, but you know where it is if you know exactly where it landed, and that's why we've had success at home. So again, going back and winning 7 on the road and losing 5, that's a really good road record.
It's tough because we were supposed to have 8 home matches, 8 away matches, but then we lost a couple home matches. Actually, we lost 2, I believe it was. Wait, these numbers don't add up. I gotta double check these. But either way, we lost 2 home matches because of the weather, which is just tough. It was tough. We had to play another road match. We were supposed to play Medfield at home. We played them on the road twice, beat them on the road twice. We were supposed to play Norton at home. Played a try match at Westwood's course.
Try match?
Try match, yeah. So
you want to explain that?
So it was us against Norton and then Norton against Westwood. Our scores did not matter against Westwood's. It was only us versus Norton, and then Norton versus Westwood. No, because technically, yeah, they could have, but the way that it was set up, it didn't matter.
Okay.
So, so we beat them there. So that was another road match we got a win for. So we only had 2 home wins. We went 2-4 at home, and then we went. Actually, I think it'd be 7-3 on the road.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to say 7-3.
7-3, not 7-5. That. 7-3 on the road, which is still just a great. I mean, obviously it's even better actually.
Yeah, and then you demolished the Ashland Clockers. The Clockers, we clocked them. Clocked that.
Yeah, 2 matches in a row. We played them on the road, beat them, and then we beat them at home on our senior afternoon. Which I mean, we get no recognition for it, but it's all right.
You were really racing against the Sunset.
Tough. It was tough.
But you beat them by 100 strokes, maybe 300.
Yes.
Yeah, I covered that for NCM. If you want to check that out, go to nordcommunitymedia.org.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. To check out our play-by-play, and there's some exclusive interviews right there. Norwood Community Media.
Yep.
Notable players for the golf team. Charlie Hinoyan placed 5th in the entire Tri-Valley League. the TVL. In scoring average, Matt Hennessy placed 7th, just below him. Chris Martin and Michael Curley, a shameless plug. Other senior starters, Jared Shea, huge improvement from.
We went into the season, we did not expect him to play the way he did. He actually finished 3rd on our team in scoring average for the year. He really, he worked very hard over the summer to improve his game, and honestly, that was part of that helped us a lot in the season. And then freshman Erin Sullivan, first girl in recent memory on the team. She started all season. I mean, she was a little inconsistent, but still only a freshman. So honestly, for next year, so it'll be me, Matt, Charlie, and Chris will be gone. We were the 4 seniors. But then Jared and Aaron will be back next year for some.
So what's your prediction?
So for prediction, I'm not really sure. I mean, they have Jared and Aaron. They had a couple guys on like the reserves who could step up in a good spot, like Zach Regan, Chris Cox. I mean, they could step up.
I just want to hear a record. What do you think they're gonna go next year?
I'm assuming 16 matches.
4-12.
I think 4-12. Yeah, 4-12.
All right, we don't have to elaborate on that.
Sorry, guys.
Nick Spadorsh is terrible.
4-12 is my prediction. So that's the golf team.
Are you ready for the pride and joy of Norwood High?
Field hockey.
Field hockey.
Yes, the field hockey team, coached by Allison Dolliner.
The Bill Belichick of field hockey.
11-6-3 if you include the tournament games. I mean, field hockey's always had a strong reputation. Yes, reputation. I don't know what I was trying to say. I had it right the first time. I don't know what was going on. But
just wanted to repeat
they've always had a strong resume at the just throughout our time here at the high school. I mean, they've always been a good team.
They play good teams too.
They play good
they're
teams as well.
not beating any cupcake teams.
No, they're not.
Well, they are, but their wins aren't all from cupcake teams. Like, they come out, they give the Walpole High Porkers.
Yes, they're
Who
the
knows
Porkers.
why they're the Porkers?
Who knows why?
Who cares?
2-0 loss against Walpole.
They're always a good team. I think that's why they're the Porkers.
They're in the
Bay State
South
there.
Finals this
Are
year.
they?
They beat Franklin last night in overtime, actually. Fun fact.
I hope they lose.
I mean, I hope
hate
so too.
Walpole.
I do too, honestly. We could do a whole episode on like why we hate Walpole.
Yeah, we could. But so they lost 2-0 to the Walpole High Porkers. Tied Wellesley, who's good in everything.
Wellesley's.
They're a huge school.
I mean, last year I know we beat Wellesley 2-0, and like that was a huge deal.
In what sport?
Field hockey, same sport, 2-0, and
okay.
It was a huge deal just because of how powerful Wellesley always is.
Yeah, they were. I think they were number 1 at the time.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, they were. And then they beat 5-2 in Medfield versus Medfield. That's kind of a weak Medfield team, but regardless, they beat them 5-2.
Well, they actually lost to Medfield early in the season, I believe.
No. They never lost.
Or it might have been Medway.
Yeah, it was Medway.
My apologies. I get confused.
Yeah, they beat a decent Medfield team to clinch a Tri-Valley Large title for the first time in Norwood High history. That
Correct.
a team
Tri-Valley.
has clinched a Tri-Valley.
That's correct. So then they're going into the tournament as the 14 seed in the Division I South. So they had their preliminary game.
Are you okay?
I'm all right, thank you. Their prelim game against Hingham.
They go down 1-0 after a half.
Go down 1-0 at the half, and then
run the score goal play.
Allie, the Stunna McDonough, Tri-Valley Large MVP.
Tri-Valley. Wait, say that again. What is she?
Tri-Valley Large MVP.
Tri-Valley Large MVP.
MVP for the season, scores 3 goals in that game in the second half.
Hat trick.
Little hat trick. You gave a little hat toss, didn't you?
Yeah, I got in trouble.
Yeah.
Mr. Rain.
Vice Principal Mr. Rain was not very happy with that one.
Yeah, I was excited.
I mean, I was too, but I was
apologize. And
I think she was all right. I think Mr. Rain was okay with it.
She likes me.
Yeah, I know. So then they go last Saturday against the number 3 seed King Philip Warriors,
defending
and
champion,
defending Division I South champs. They go and lose that game 3-1.
Allie McDonough. Guess who scored?
The Stunna?
The Stunna McDonough scored the only goal.
Junior.
I forgot.
Junior Allie McDonough.
The Tri-Valley MVP.
As a junior, scores 4 goals in the playoffs, 21 regular season goals for a total of
oh my God,
25 goals for the season for her. And then that's not it for the Mustangs for notable players. They also had all-stars seniors senior captains, Bryn Garzinski and Rose Campbell, who Allison Dolliner.
Are you okay?
Allison Dolliner.
We're getting really excited.
Yeah, I don't know how to speak sometimes. She was just, I saw in an article that Rose and Bryn, both 4-year players on the team, getting the tournament win was just great for them. They'd never won a tournament game in their careers, so they got that first one against Hingham. And then she was just talking about how big of a loss that they're going to be. Rose on the defensive end, and then Bryn on the offensive end, who's actually going to SNHU next year for softball.
That's a spring sport. We're gonna.
It was just a fun fact.
No. It is a fun fact, but we'll save that for our spring preview and recap.
We will.
So make sure you look out for those in the future.
Spring. In the future
spring.
So also to add on, Garzinski and Campbell as all-stars, as well as Noel Conley Jr. Jinx. And then also we have honorable mention Maggie Curran, sophomore. Really, a lot of honors this year for the field hockey team.
Yeah, it's like a really intelligent school. A bunch of honors.
Yeah, pretty much. For the future of this team, I don't see much of a downfall. Personally, I really don't.
I don't either. I'll elaborate that on that actually. They have Valley McDonough returning out.
The Stunner.
The MVP, Tri-Valley Large MVP. She's coming back. She's a junior. She's coming back. And then Tri-Valley All-Star Noelle Connolly coming back for her senior year. And then honorable mention Maggie Curran, who's a sophomore. She's going to be a junior next year. Allie Martin is good at field hockey. Molly Mannering. Caroline Davey.
Mm-hmm.
I could keep going. Goalie. Let me just take a minute. Let's appreciate Frucci right now. Talia Frucci.
Yep.
Good at goalie.
Okay.
She's a freshman.
Yep.
And she had I would probably say 4 billion saves this year.
Yep.
And you can quote me on that. Anybody listening?
I'm not going to.
Yeah, I don't care if you do. You can look it up. The only news source that's reporting on that is us. So 4 billion saves this year. You heard it here first.
Hot take.
Yeah, hot take. And that's she kept him in the Hingham game in the second half for the prelims, and then she played an unreal second half against defending champion KP in KP on a freezing night that I did play-by-play for Nord Community Media. You can check that out online.
Another shameless plug.
So you can check that out. I talk about how cold it is. I'm with my girl Miss Glynn.
Oh,
Nora Glynn. Just moving away from Frucci for 1 second. Miss Glynn. Best best partner to have.
I did the softball game against Walpole with her last year for Nord Community Media. You can check them out online at nordcommunitymedia.com.
.org.
Sorry. nordcommunitymedia.org.
Yeah. So she's a great person. Frucci's a great goalie. Allie McDonough is a great field hockey player. Scores a billion goals.
Or 25, yeah.
Yeah, 25. 4 in the playoffs.
No big deal. She comes up clutch when she needs to.
Yeah, and again, they have a bright future. They're losing 6 seniors.
I mean, but if you really talk about it,
clocked minutes.
It's only really 2 clocked minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, Katie Welch, I believe clocked minutes. I believe Myra Hines was hurt most of the year.
Yeah.
And Emily Trahan and Teresa Flaherty, I don't really think saw consistent minutes.
Their claps,
night maybe, yeah.
Their claps per half were unreal though.
Yeah, claps from the sideline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I got that.
But
so
that's
overall,
their contribution.
Okay. We don't need to get into that. Right. It's a little rude if you ask me. Because
are you kidding me? Claps per half. That's a really unreal stat, and I think I'm the only one who hasn't.
Who has what?
The stat. Do you want to hear it?
You might be. I'm all set.
Hold on. Let me punch it up in my computer.
Anyways, if you really want to
10.671 claps per half.
Okay.
In freezing cold weather for the second half.
Got it.
Right.
So, really only 2 real losses for seniors. So, they're going to have experience next year. They're going to have
If they fill Rose Campbell's spot D, I think that's the only thing they have to worry about. Their defensive side.
Offense would be okay. Bryn's a tough loss.
But
I think they'll be able to manage that. I think Rose would be the bigger loss.
It can be filled by Molly Mannering, Caroline Davey. And all those strong younger underclassmen.
Yep.
If they could fill the role that Rose played this past year, they should be fine.
I think they'll be.
I think they can win.
I
think they can win every game.
I think they can contend for another Tri-Valley Large title.
They always, you know what's a really good play?
The score a goal play?
No. The corner score a goal play. So when they get a
very
corner,
close. Okay.
they decide to score a goal. They did that against KP.
And against Hingham.
Twice.
In the alley. Dangled everyone, scored
A sniper.
because she's nice.
Yeah.
I feel lucky.
Good to feel lucky.
So, yeah, I mean, overall, feel like a team. I don't see much of a downfall.
Yep.
I don't see much of a drop-off. I think they can contend again for a Tri-Valley Large title, and I will be very intrigued to be watching that from
Whatever school we're in.
wherever I am.
Yeah.
I'll be very intrigued.
I might even be able to drive back and watch some of their games.
Good for you.
And so
Feel like a team, good team, best team in the fall.
best team in the
if you
fall
look at it.
by record. And golf, good season. Can't predict a really good one. Unfortunately, can't predict a good one coming next year and into the future. Let's see if hopefully cross country teams can step it up next year. Get some people that run good.
Football, we'll see.
Hopefully we'll see some coaching change. I don't know. Somebody's got.
I don't know if that's the. I don't know.
I'm not saying
I'm not
fire
saying
the
that's
coach.
it.
I'm saying sit down to them and tell them you need to win games.
Football needs to win some games consistently to get back on the map, to get back to relevancy.
They won a Super Bowl in 2001.
17 years ago? Good for them.
Where's that coach?
Do you know who else won the championship 17 years ago?
The Patriots.
Oh, yeah. But that's
Yeah. And guess what? They won 4 more after that. Guess under what coach? The same one, Bill Belichick. Why can't Bill Belichick come to Norwood High?
Yeah, but was
It's not fair.
Was Ty the coach in 2001?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Well, that's all we have for this fall recap here at Norwood High, at the podcast station here in the Space Center, I'd like to call it. I just made that up. Are we going to go with it?
Yeah, we'll go. Why not?
All right, here from the Space Center, I'm Joe Spadorsha.
And I'm Michael Curley.
That's all we have. Be sure to check out all the latest Mustang sports action at Mustang Sports on Twitter and hit us up at ustangs.com.
If you want the latest minute fast action on Twitter for Norwood Mustangs Athletics, Mustangs Sports on Twitter.
On Twitter
is your source.
What social media?
Mustang Sports on Twitter.
On
is
Twitter.
your source.
Twitter.com.
For the latest and fastest information on all Norwood sports.
And all Norwood sports athletes.
Live game
updates.
Live game updates. We got some
Player
highlights,
profiles.
player profiles. Anything you really expect.
Anything you need,
we got it.
We got it
on Mustangs Sports on Twitter. So be sure to check us out on there for the latest and fastest information for all Mustang sports.
And for more in-depth information, be sure to go to ustangs.com.
For any personal blogs, team profiles, any sports stories that are run through the NHS-TV classroom, some player profiles.
There's a Mustangs Athlete of the Week now.
Yes, I've seen that.
The most recent is Jenny King of the volleyball team. If you want to check that out, go to ustangs.com. And that's all we have for today, so make sure to check us out on those platforms. I'm Joe Spadorsha.
And I'm Michael Curley.
Have a good one.
Thanks for listening.